Hi guys, welcome to this Programming Arduino with Flowcode for Absolute Beginner series. Arduino is an open source electronic prototyping platform. You can use it for simple electronic projects with LEDs, LCDs, digital and analog sensors, to advanced projects with Internet of Things applications, 3D printing, advanced communication protocols, and many more. We're gonna go through all that in this tutorial series. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So whether you're a beginner, you have never used Arduino platform before, don't have to worry. The first few is gonna be very simple. Gonna learn the basics of Arduino, making simple electronic circuits like blinking an LED, reading a push button and stuff like that. And then we're gonna tackle the more complicated later on. So let's get started. There are many advantages of using Flowcode to program Arduino. Flowcode is an integrated development environment for programming microcontrollers such 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit PIC microcontrollers. You can also program with Flowcode ARMs, AVRs, Arduino, and even Raspberry Pi devices. You don't need to learn a different programming language when you switch to a different device or even a different IDE. With Flowcode, you can program all these devices. Flowcode achieves this by using flowchart instead of text-based languages. This makes programming simpler, faster, and with a lot of fun. Flowcode allows those with little or no programming experience to develop amazing electronic systems in a matter of minutes. These are the flowchart icons that can be used. All you need to do is to drag your icon to the main flow instead of typing your text code. If you are a fan of C language, you don't have to worry. There is also a C language icon that allows you to write your piece of code in C. Flowcode also contains hundreds of pre-made component libraries, allowing users to interface with a host of sensors, input, output, and electromechanical components with ease. So these are some of the input. We've got the potentiometer, we've got keypad, we've got push buttons. All you need to do is to add your component to the 3D system panel or the 2D dashboard. If you click on 3D panel, then your component is going to be added to the 3D system panel. These are the output components that you can use. You've got a buzzer, you've got different type of LEDs, 7-segment displays, you've got different type of LCD displays. You've got 16:2 LCD like this one. We've got different type of graphical LCD displays. We've got a host of sensors that you can use. We've got the PIR motion. We've got humidity sensor, the SHT21. We've got the temperature and humidity sensor, the DHT22, which is also popular these days. We've got a photo reflector. If you want to use an e-blocks kind of development board from Matrix, add to 3D panel. This is a combo board from Matrix. There's a lot of communication protocols that you can use. I've got I2C, one wire, SPI, RS232, TCP/IP, web server, modulus, USB, CAN bus. So almost all the popular communication protocols are supported. We've got wireless communication, Bluetooth, RF, RFID, wireless LAN, ZigBee, infrared communication. We've got also GSM and GPS. We've got also under the storage, we've got the EEPROM, we've got serial EEPROM, we've got real-time clock, we've got SD card, we've got a simple DC motor, we've got some servo motor and some stepper motors. If you want to remove a component from the system panel, just have to select the component and press the delete key. Flowcode has in-circuit test, in-circuit debugger, and also use the Ghost technology, which is an advanced way of testing and debugging your electronic system. You can monitor every pin and every variable on your microcontroller and interpret serial data input and output. Flowcode includes as well an in-software oscilloscope and data recorder, which both display feedback and information live from the hardware you are using. The other great feature of Flowcode, and possibly the best for beginners, is simulation. And basically that is the motto of Flowcode. What you see is what you'll get. Prior to deploying your code to Arduino or any other microcontroller, you can simulate in Flowcode to ensure the design is accurate and will run as you expect it. This can be done not only for your flowchart, but even for your C code as well. You can click on the Run button to start the flowchart simulation. In this example, Hello World is displayed on the first line of this 16:2 LCD and Flowcode Arduino on the second line. The LED blinks as well at an interval of 1 second. You can also simulate complex electromechanical systems in Flowcode like these 3 stepper motors. So you can see how your devices will perform. Everything can be seen in 3D. To follow along with these tutorials, you're gonna need the Flowcode software. You can get your copy from Matrix website under Flowcode. The current version is Flowcode 8. It currently supports a lot of peak devices, AVR, ARM, Arduino, and even Raspberry Pi. They've got different license options depending on your requirement. You can also download the 30-day trial, which can give you access to all the features of Flowcode for 30 days, or you can just download the free version, which will be good enough for most of our beginners project. You're gonna also need the actual Arduino board. You're gonna need a USB cable so that you can program the Arduino. This cable will also power the Arduino board, drawing power from your PC. You're gonna need also a breadboard. This is very useful for prototyping electronic circuit. You're gonna need a couple of LEDs, resistors, push button, and LCD screen. You might want a DC motor or servo motor, or we might even use a stepper motor and some other devices as we're gonna progress through with our tutorials. There are different types of Arduino board, and as all Arduino boards are completely open source, so there are many variations that you can find on the market. You don't have to get an Arduino branded Arduino board. You can also build your own Arduino board, as the circuit diagram is freely available as an open source. The most popular is the Arduino Uno. The Arduino Uno is a cheapest. You can get one at about $30 depending on where you live. This is the simplest to start with. It's based on the 8 Mega 328 microcontroller. This 8 Mega 328 microcontroller has got 38 kilobytes of flash memory for storing the program, 2 kilobytes of SRAM and 1 kilobyte of EEPROM. The USB plug is used to power the board from your computer USB port if an external power supply is not used, and also to transfer the program code from your computer into the Arduino. The external power supply can come either from AC to DC adapter or battery. The adapter can be connected by plugging a 2.1mm center positive plug into the board power jack. The lead from a battery can be inserted in the ground pins and the voltage in header of the power connector. The board can operate on an external supply from 6 to 20 volt. If supplied with less than 7 volt, however, the 5 volt pin may supply less than 5 volt and the board may be unstable. If using more than 12 volt, the voltage regulator may overheat and damage the board, so the recommended range is 7 to 12 volt. These are the digital input-output pins. These pins can be either input or output pins. Input are used to read information from sensors, while output pins are used to control actuators. You'll specify the direction, whether it's going to be an input or output in the sketch. By the way, the programming code of Arduino is called a sketch. Digital input can only read 1 or 2 values, and digital output can only output 1 or 2 values, either high or low. This is the serial output, and this is the serial input pin. This is the analog reference pin, and this is a digital ground. This is the reset button, and this is an in-circuit serial programmer. And these are the analog pins. The analog pins are used for reading voltage measurements from analog sensors, such as temperature sensors. In contrast to digital input, which can only have 2 values, either high or low, analog input can measure 1024 different levels of voltage. We've got also the analog output pins. These are basically pin 3, pin 5, pin 6, pin 9, pin 10, and pin 11. These are actually 6 of the digital pins that can perform a third function. They can provide analog output. As with digital input-output pin, you specify what the pin should do in your sketch. This is the Arduino Mega 2560. It is designed for more complex projects. It's got 54 digital input-output pin, 16 analog input, and a large space for your sketch. This gives your project plenty of room and opportunities. This is the Arduino Uno. The Arduino Uno is the perfect board to use when designing connected devices and more in general Internet of Things project. The board has built-in Ethernet and Wi-Fi support, a USB port, a micro SD slot, 20 digital input-output pin, of which 7 can be used as power width modulation output and 12 as analog input, and micro USB connection. The board uses also a 16 MHz crystal oscillator. It's got in-circuit serial programmer header and 3 reset buttons. There are also some Arduino Shields that you can use. An Arduino Shield is basically a board that can be plugged on top of the Arduino PC board to extend its capability. This is the Arduino GSM Shield. This shield allows the Arduino board to connect to the internet, to send and receive SMS and make voice calls using the GSM library. This is how you can plug the Arduino Shield on top of the Arduino board. This is a GSM Shield plugged on top of the Arduino board. There are plenty of other shields. This is the Arduino Ethernet Shield. This shield allows the Arduino board to connect to the internet. It has a standard RJ45 connector with an integrated line transformer and power over Ethernet enabled. This is the Arduino Motor Shield. This shield is based on the L2980, which is a dual full bridge driver designed to drive inductive load such as relays, solenoid, DC and stepping motors. It lets you drive 2 DC motors with your Arduino board, controlling the speed and direction of each one independently. You can also measure each motor current absorptions, among other features. And basically, that's the Arduino in a nutshell. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like it or leave a comment. We always do our best to reply to each and every comment. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to receive more tutorials in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.